one of the things that I've noticed too, of course, states a little bit different, but one of the things, especially with Presley and all the other SVPs, they're talking to a lot of people who are in the position of owning businesses, business owners, people who are, understand how business grows. I know some of us be on here, include myself, that, hey, how do I get hold of those people? How do I talk to them? We just need to speak to people. And when we have someone join the team, and what a lot of people are doing too, is asking, who is the most influential person that you know? Who's your uncle? Who's your cousin? Who's your aunt that doesn't want to take a look or might take a little bit longer time? Who's the most influential person that you know that we can talk to right away? Get in front of those people first. And I think that's a great way for our team to start getting those big businesses, especially with ACN bringing other services. Those business services are coming pretty soon. How about having business owners on board before it launches, so that when it launches, they bring on a lot more of other people because of what we can provide. So I think by us starting that from right now, especially with the plan we have for tonight, we can see a huge transformation for 2023.
Yeah, and even like to Richard's point, I think about, right, like Kip on our team who owns all the Tim Hortons, Fabby Tans, all that kind of stuff. He got recruited by his 18-year-old. I was like, he calls him uncle, but that's how he got recruited, right? So it wasn't like, and that guy was in the business for like a day before he even, but same thing that Richard just said, like, who do you know that's entrepreneur, who's successful? And he was just like, I don't know. And he was so nervous how to set it up and stuff like that. But when he did, Kip met with him because it's his nephew. So he's like, okay, right? Like, remember the guy, mom and dad on your team with the limo driver, right? And it was, again, how that got connected to the jerks and all that. It was the uncle or the niece, right? So to Richard's point, it's like, of course you put on your goal card, right? You want to get some like big contracts and stuff, but I promise you, like that real estate story in America where that person joined and did all their buildings, same thing. They got recruited. They didn't get recruited by James Adam. They got recruited by his IBO who was brand new, who she didn't even know what she was doing, but it was her like best friend, right? From like high school. That's how it happened, right? So the way that you do sign up, the quote unquote big fish, right, is you sign up your neighbor who knows the donaire guy, who knows the janitor, who knows the teacher, who knows the nurse, and then all of a sudden that's how you get to them, by someone who they have a relationship with.
That's the power in network marketing. Yeah. That's the power in relationship marketing. Cold calls won't do it. You're not going to call the big mortgage broker in town and land that deal. I'll guarantee you got a 10% chance of success. But like Jordanna said, you'll bring in a big fish from an 18-year-old kid, but it happens to be the uncle. And that's why, again, going back to a get-rich-quick mentality in ACN and new people coming in thinking I'm just going to call random people and land random contracts. It's really about the consistency. It's about building a team, following a consistent methodology over a period of time. And what ends up happening is you're going to soak in these big contracts. And it may not be from, again, cold calls or random influence. It's going to be from friends, family, people around that influential individual. And here's the other great thing about relationships. If they're a busy person, they may be really, they may not want to give their time out freely very often, but they will give their time out to a family member. They will give 30 minutes, 45 minutes out to their best friend. And that's the power of relationship marketing. And instead of, again, trying to just land random contracts because you want to get rich quick, focus on providing value, being consistent, building a team of people, and it's going to happen. The bigger team you have statistically, the bigger chance you're going to have of landing bigger contracts because you have a big team. Richard, yeah. I saw you with your hand up.
Yeah, I'll give some examples of how things work for me as well on our team. So for example, this is how it works. So I had a customer who wanted the internet for free, gave me a referral. That referral turned out to be Ben, right? Showed Ben the information. Ben joined the business. Went to Ben. Hey, who do you know that knows other people who are successful? Ben introduced me to one of his good friends who lives in Calgary. She introduced a gentleman that owned 28 oil wells. We ended up showing him the information. He's like, I'm already successful. I don't mind supporting my friend. I'm going to send out all the oil wells with her, right? Me personally, I never knew someone like that. But again, that's a great way to make those connections. Next example I could give, I met Christine through a couple of friends. I ended up showing Christine the business. With Christine, for example, I went to a meeting, and we never stop at meetings. This time, Christine lived in, it's like an hour and a half out of Edmonton. I drove there literally every single day. They do a presentation. So one day we had a presentation. We had like 15 people about to show up. One person showed up. That one person that created like 400 customer points. Plus two, Christine introduced me to a gentleman that owns, well, most guys know him, Tony, that owns now 7 physical clinics and all his services as well too. So it's not about who you know directly. Is like what Jordanna is talking about, is like having the person join, ask them, hey, who do you know that we can talk to, who's influential, who has a business owner that we can able to sit down and talk to, and have them introduce that person, and then your business eventually have those services inside them, and then they could lead you to other people as well too.
Thanks for sharing those, Richard. I mean, that's super powerful. It's, they talked about that, the training this week, and the power of one. The RVP that promoted talked about the power of one, signing up one person that can blow your business up. But the key point here is Richard was showing the opportunity. His team was showing the opportunity. This didn't come from a single customer. Typically, customers just become customers. Some refer, right? It happens. But if you want that friend of a friend of a friend who leads you to a massive prospect, it usually comes from showing the opportunity.